Fantastic. How are you doing?
Not too bad. Just
Well,
waiting on Joshua. He should be popping on any minute.
you've got the
Just
right haircut for this business.
absolutely. And this is going great too. uh, so his power's out because of the hurricanes hit North Carolina pretty hard too. I guess his power's been out, so I think he's popping on in his truck where he has internet.
Sure,
So he
that's
should
no
be
problem.
logging on
Jesus,
any.
I live in Central Texas and don't really run any risk of power outages. I guess he's popping in right now. And I put backup solar and batteries and all that kind of shit. Uh,
Right.
how's it going, Josh?
Hey, doing good, thank you. Yeah, we lost power here, so I had to connect to my truck, but it's
He
working.
doesn't have the hair problem.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we already covered. We already covered that it's Johnny, right? He's got the right haircut for this business. I,
Yeah, he does.
how can I help you guys?
Man, we're thinking about joining. Well, I'll tell you where we're at. Someone based a woman-owned engineer firm called us. I just wanted to see if I could close the deal, just winging it. There's a federal project that we pretty much have, but we're in the we're actively in the stall stage, and we're like, man, are we about to get wrecked? Um, they have like 30. How many is it, Johnny? Like 20 submittal documents. We're
Oh
already
gosh,
in a
no, there's like 80, there's like 80 submittals they need from us. And I'm like, I don't need, I'm just at a lot. Like I'm spinning my wheels with all these submittals and drowning in them.
Yeah.
Literally. And I'm not really sure. Like I've been utilizing ChatGPT trying to make heads or tails. He's been creating documents for me, and I'm like, did I just waste days of my life and create a whole bunch of documents in the wrong way? And I'm at a loss, like of what direction to go.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I
really
mean,
there's an
look, I
enormous amount of
always
red
tell
tape.
people that I only get called for two reasons at this point in my life and in my career. And it's either because people have questions about federal contracts or they have problems on federal contracts. And so I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to solve that problem for you 100%, and then we'll just move on.
Amen.
okay.
Okay, so I want you to think about for a second, and forgive me because I teach things like I'm teaching them to a fifth grader. So if I'm talking, don't interpret
That's
what
what
I'm
I
about
need.
to
Nope.
say as me
Dumb it
talking
down.
down to you. I dumb fucking everything down.
Good.
So fundamentally, as a manufacturer, let's just say for a second that you're a manufacturer of nails, okay? And somebody down the road is going to want to understand what the fuck is your nail made of, okay? So they create data sheets on their products that they manufacture. Now, if you're a nail company, you provide 1,000 different kinds of fucking nails. Okay? And so they have data sheets on this line of nails. They have data sheets on this line of nails. And on each of those different data sheets, they might have 4-inch nails, 3-inch nails, 2-inch nails. They might say that it might come galvanized. It might come in stainless steel. It might come in. They have these data sheets that show all the information about their nails. Okay? What the federal government is looking for is, hey, we specified that it's got to be a 304 stainless steel nail that's 2.5 inches long. It's right there in the specifications. Are you guys familiar with the 3 parts of a specification?
No.
Okay,
No.
any federal government specification, and it might be this way in the outside of federal government, but I wouldn't know. I'm only the federal guy. But in federal specifications, each spec section, okay, will be divided into 3 sections. Number one is the general, which describes generally what they're trying to accomplish. Number two is the products, where they specify the product. We want a 304 stainless steel nail that's 2.5 inches long. Okay. And then the third part is called the execution. How we want you to install that nail. Okay. So now it's our job to provide a submittal that proves to the government that we're going to use what's specified. So you go to the manufacturer's website and you pull down their data sheet on the 304 stainless steel 2.5 inch nail, but on that page, it's got 50 fucking different variations of the nail. So what you do is you circle the 304 stainless. You put a big arrow towards it. You circle the 2.5 inches. You put a big arrow on it. And then you put on your cover sheet per specification 290.12A nails. And then you put that spec sheet. That's the middle sheet. Okay. Yeah. And now you're providing that to, in your case, the prime contractor. And the prime contractor is supposed to, but oftentimes they don't, but they're supposed to double check you that you're doing exactly what's specified. And then they send that to the government. The government goes to that page and they go, oh, 304 stainless. Oh, 2.5 inches. Great. Boom. Approved.
Got it.
And it's a lot of work and nobody likes it.
Oh yeah, I'm just kind of surprised how much they require.
Oh yeah, you got to read the specs and you got to make sure that you're getting, because if you just send them that sheet of the nail with nothing circled, and it's going to get disapproved.
Yeah.
Even though it's clearly on there, one of the options is the 304 stainless and the 2.5 inch. And of course, I'm just making examples up, but you get the idea.
Absolutely.
What's the next question?
They need one of those for every manufactured data spec. There's about 45 or 50 of them for just all the products going on the roof.
That's right. And by the way, if they specify caulk or something that you're going to get at Home Depot, you can actually go on the manufacturer's website and you can get the data sheets on that caulk. You know, or if you have to provide, well, in my day it was MSDS, but it's my understanding they changed it to SDS, but it used to be material safety data sheets. You can actually go to Home Depot, buy caulk, and go to the front desk, and they'll have the MSDS sheets there.
Yeah.
And you submit those.
I think the other thing that we were not anticipating was the, what's it called, for the government pay, and you have to agree to pay everybody
prevailing wage.
That's right. Weekly prevailing wages. All federal contract, well, I say all, 99% of federal contracts fall under the Davis-Bacon Act. Do you guys know the history of the Davis-Bacon Act, or do you even care?
I'm not super familiar with it, but
what happened was
somebody got wronged and sued the government. Now there's a law about it.
No, what happened was when Franklin Delano Roosevelt approved the New Deal and signed it into law, federal contractors it was a boondoggle for all the federal contractors. And because they were coming out of the Great Depression, they got huge federal contracts to build roads, bridges, and dams. And then they put food lines out at their construction sites and said, hey, build the dam, we'll feed you and your family. They made massive amounts of profits, and it was perfectly legal. Congress figured it out and said, no. You have to pay a living wage to the people who are performing work on these federal contracts. And then they went to the local unions and figured out what the quote prevailing wage was, and that's why you'll see that union wages are the same as what you'll find in the Davis-Bacon wages or the prevailing wages for each federal contract.
So do you actually have to show them a report every week of who you paid and how much you paid them?
Absolutely. The only exception is that if an owner operator is out on the job, like let's just say it's Josh's plumbing company and Josh goes out there and does all the plumbing, he's an owner operator and he is exempt from prevailing wages. But if you have 6 guys that are working for you, and by the way, you can't just 1099 people and get out from under it, because 1099, what is the definition of a 1099 person?
They're free to come and go as they please.
Nope, that's not the definition. The definition of 1099 literally is subcontract. Okay? And the fact that they're a subcontractor means that they have to have their own company, they have to have their own insurance, they have to have their own, workman's comp, they have to have their, okay? And so you think that you're getting around it by doing a 1099 employee, but there is no such thing. A 1099 person is not an employee. They are a contractor. And so you have to put hired people on that job site, pay them prevailing wages weekly, and if you don't, the Department of Labor will come in there and hold fucking all the money.
So that means the person that the company, the people that I was going to hire to go in there and do it, I can't just pay one person. They're going to have to see where I paid each one of their people X amount of dollars.
With their social security number. Boy, aren't you sad that you didn't talk to me how long ago?
A couple months ago.
Oh, fuck. Well, the good news is I didn't wake up this morning thinking that I was going to kick you in the teeth, Josh.
Oh, man. You know what? And they did ask a couple times, you sure this is good with prevailing wage? And I brought one of my manufacturers out there and for the EPDM, and he was like, yeah, I think you guys will be okay. It'll be a great project because if you guys get this one, it'll put you on the map, because they do something top secret out. They do something like top secret. He's like, you'll be able to get more out of it. So I kind of it's still my fault, but I kind of went with it, and now we've literally just been stalling for a week, and like, man,
when I have conversations as a prime contractor with roofing guys, specifically roofing guys, I tell them up front, hey, this is a wage rate job, and the reason this is important is because most roofing guys pay their guys by the square. And that will not fly on a federal contract. You have to pay your guys by the hour.
Yeah, we just didn't know what we were doing with the.
And you need to charge me more for that. So in other words, I make them feel like I've got their back, and I do have their back. Like it's not a feeling. I don't want a subcontractor that's going to be in a fucked up situation. Because there's plenty of fucking money in these contracts. I want the guy protected. I want him to be successful. And I want him to be a reference in the future that I say, hey, if you got any questions about doing work with me, just call Josh. He'll tell you I'm the fastest payer. I had his back the whole way. I'm the best client he's ever had.
Hey, and another thing is, throughout all these submittals, I see this one document that kind of showed what the budget was, and it says between 650,000 to 950,000, and I'm sure that includes like the engineering firm's fee obviously too. But I'm very concerned we grossly underbid this project. So, and then we just had the epiphany that we're the SEG's the engineering firm that went out and won this contract, and we're the roofers that they called. And I'm just wondering, do we need to bail on this?
Of course you need to bail. You already signed the subcontract agreement?
We didn't sign anything yet.
Oh,
That's what they're
well,
pushing
yeah.
us for.
Fuck that, man. Of course they're pushing you for it. You're probably the best fucking deal in the world because you underbid the fucking thing.
So I guess let's say if we moved on with you, Sean, I'm just going to cut right to it. That's probably what you're looking for anyway.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Nothing I do in my entire world revolves around money. I am not trying to sell you anything. Okay?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I watched your video. I know you do it for a passion. I guess what my question would be though is if we joined and went with the 5,000, the 600, would we have access for you or somebody to look at it and go, hey, this thing could still be turned around? Because I also don't want to get a bad
reputation.
I also don't want to get a bad reputation. So if it at all possible that it's salvageable,
there is no such thing as a bad reputation in construction. It exists in your world, but not in our world. Okay? You know, if you guys watch that video where I explained that you're at no risk for turning in a bid on a federal contract, okay? One of the most common questions I get, first of all, did you guys watch that video?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, one of the most common questions that I get is, wait a minute, if I start withdrawing all these bids, isn't that going to hurt me down the road? You know, it's kind of like crying wolf, and I turn in another bid, and they go, oh, he always withdraws his bids or wants to negotiate to a higher amount. Dude, there's something like 10,000 contracting officers out there. There is no such thing as a reputation for this kind of thing. Because how is a contracting officer going to explain to the taxpayer that we didn't look at Josh's bid because Josh is an asshole? Well, nobody gives a fuck about whether Josh is an asshole or not, okay? You have to consider every single bid that gets turned in. It's right there in the federal acquisition regulations. This is the reason that I was so successful, because if you guys are probably going to figure out pretty quick that you like me, right? Because I speak your language, I'm in construction, I've done a lot of incredible, amazing things. Like, I get it that somebody on the other side of the fence will be looking over at me going, God damn, I want to be like that guy. But the fact of the matter is, I'm abrasive, okay? I mean, dude, I don't need your fucking money. If this conversation went sideways, I go, have a great day, guys. You go to sam.gov and you register yourself and you go bid federal contracts. It's that easy? Yep, that easy. See ya, okay? I engage, and my whole life is like that. How am I going to be successful? I could not be successful in your world where you have to build relationships. I don't want to build relationships with anybody. I want to go in there, get the fucking job done, and move on to the next one. And so, to answer your question, at this point in my life, I don't really sit down and look at plans and specs anymore, because I've read, in my entire career, I probably bid 20,000 federal contracts. So I won 1 in 20, right? I did 1,000 federal contracts. That means I bid 20,000 federal contracts. I've seen everything that you could ever imagine that's involved in a federal contract. I can't tell you how many rubber roofs I've done over my career, okay? But if you explain to me what it is, what you're trying to accomplish, what your budget is, and you've looked at the numbers as what the material is and how many labor hours you expect or whatever, I mean, I'll give you advice or things to think about. You know, I answer questions and I solve problems. But as far as a business decision, like, just an example, yesterday, one of my guys sent me in, he goes, damn, I bid this thing right on the edge. He's like, I've got a guaranteed $3,500. And I went, are you really going to spend 3, 4, 5 hours doing this thing to get that 35? Like, how hard do you want to fucking work for $3,500? You know? And it was a guaranteed deal. And ultimately, he just went, no, I don't think I want to do that. And I said, great. Okay, that's a business decision, right? That's not a decision for me to make for you, right? That's not necessarily a problem. But so, you know, as far as, now, here's the other part of the equation. I would never tell any of my guys to be a subcontractor on a federal contract because you don't control the money.
Fair enough.
But I'm super easy to get a hold of. You know, when you join my program, you get my cell phone number. You call me anytime. I mean, I answer my phone probably 18 hours a day.
Whenever you start doing government projects, how much do they, or you know what, let me ask you this. I saw whenever you were like going down, because you, is it is it deal tracker or bid tracker, your thing?
Bid
Your
tracker.
software?
I invented it. Yep.
So I'm commercially licensed in Virginia. Are you still working? Are you able to bid in states where you're not commercially licensed because you're technically under like the GSAs or whoever like the government is, or you do need a commercial license in each state?
Okay, so let's talk about that for a minute. The first thing I want to do is play a game with you guys, and I'm going to tell you the answer right now to every question I'm about to ask you. The answer is SAM registration. Okay? There's one thing and one thing only required to be a federal contractor, and that is a.
Sam.
That's right. So if you sell cake mix to the Navy so they can make cakes on ships, what do you need?
Registered.
Sam registered. If you sell bullets and aircraft parts, what do you need?
To be registered.
If you want to sell construction goods and services to the federal government, what do you need?
Registered.
Okay, now that we've played my little game, you should know that I have done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars of federal construction in almost every state. I have never had a license of any kind other than a driver's license. Now, that being said, I want to explain 3 scenarios that a specification in a federal contract might say. Scenario number 1. You guys are in Virginia?
I live in North Carolina, but we do like regular
Okay, North
roofs in
Carolina, that's fine.
Virginia and Maryland, but yeah.
Scenario number 1. The transformer shall be replaced by a licensed electrician in the state of North Carolina. Now, that has nothing to do with the company that got the job. It's just the guy that replaces the transformer. Scenario number 2. The transformer shall be replaced by a licensed electrician. Now, any licensed electrician from any state can replace that transformer in North Carolina. Understand, this is federal eminent domain property. There is no state inspector coming onto a federal contract. Okay? Scenario number 3. The transformer shall be replaced. That means literally that Johnny and I can go out there on a Saturday and replace the transformer. And it gets written all 3 different ways all the time. As an example, I don't know what the requirements are in North Carolina, but in Texas, you don't have to have a license of any kind to replace roofs. You don't need that. But in California, the specification will say almost all the time that a California licensed roofing company shall replace the roof. And the reason that they can get away with it out there is because the earthquakes that happen out there. But the last cedar shake roof that we did in California, we charged the federal government $5,400 a square. Now look, understand that if you guys go out tomorrow and you get a $100,000 roofing contract with your normal customers, Can I, as a public citizen, go into your office, open up the filing cabinet, and go, holy shit, you just got a $100,000 roofing job? Can I do that?
No.
No, because that's a private information job. But every single federal contract that I ever got in my entire career, is that private information or is it public information?
Public.
So would I ever lie to anybody about any contract I ever got?
No.
Absolutely not, because it can be looked up. And I wouldn't want to be called a liar. And there's no reason to lie, because I'm always telling the truth. I know everything there is to know about federal government contracts, and the videos are certainly out there to prove it.
Interesting.
What's the next question?
How hard is it? And the guy kind of that guy Michael Ponder in your video kind of asked it, but like, how hard is it to find people that do work like that are laborers that do work like on a W-2 basis?
Well, I don't know why you would want to do that. So first of all, let's take a couple of scenarios. The most common scenario is if I've got an EPDM roofing job, can I find you guys on the internet if I'm trying to get it done in North Carolina or Virginia?
Yeah.
Okay, the most common way that this happens is I pick up the phone and I call you and I say, hey, my name's Sean. I'm a national federal contractor. I do everything from wind tunnels, water treatment plants, to kitchen renovations. I'm calling you today about this EPDM roof that needs to be replaced at blah, blah, blah. And that whole script that I said to Michael, okay? And then we negotiate a deal, and the whole deal goes through, and you take care of everything. So I don't give a shit about your employees or just as long as you comply with the requirements of the contract, Davis Bacon wages, that kind of stuff. So how hard is it? I don't fucking know. That's your problem, not my problem. Okay. Now, when it does become my problem is when a federal contract says 25% or 50% or some number percent of the work must be performed by my own forces. In that scenario, I have the same script with you and I say, hey, Josh, on this contract, it has a requirement that a percentage of the work must be performed by GCExperts. Okay? And the way I'm going to accomplish that is I'm going to put your guys on my payroll. Now, if we agree that this contract's $100,000 and I put $20,000 worth of labor into this thing, I pay your guys $20,000, I'm just going to deduct that $20,000 at the end. You still get the same amount of money, but the advantage to you is I'm going to carry the payroll through this job. You don't have to. The advantage to me is that I meet this requirement of this contract. Is that okay with you, Josh?
Yeah.
So what part of that made me have to go find guys?
Just picking up the phone.
Yeah, except that I didn't have to find guys. I mean, I already found you. You know, you find the guys.
So, like in this deal that we're working on, is it our sole responsibility as the contractor to have all of these submittals, or is it any part of this firm, SEG, that they should be responsible for some of this paperwork?
If you're a subcontractor to a prime contractor, the prime contractor is ultimately responsible for every single submittal being turned into the federal government. But I'm sure that that subcontract agreement flows down that provision to you.
It does.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
Are there ever situations where you're taking on that paperwork, or are you always flowing it downhill to the contractor?
I mean, look, sometimes I'm dealing with contractors that have no fucking clue what paperwork and all this kind of stuff. And if it's not a massive amount of work, sure, I'm willing to sit down with the guy and say, hey, where are you getting your nails from? Where are you getting the HVAC equipment from? So I can get the paperwork associated with this thing flowed up to the government. I mean, I'm willing to put some effort in to make a deal happen if I have to. Depends on the size of the job. I mean, you gotta understand, like most of the projects that I did, now look, the jobs that I did over my career ranged from $7,500 up to $8 million. So, I've done a wide range of things. If it's $1 million job and I've got an $200,000 worth of electrical work to do, I'm not going to some guy who's doing electrical work out of his pickup truck. A handyman. I'm going to a professional electrical company that does industrial and commercial electrical work. Those guys have people on their payroll that do the overhead stuff associated with the company, the administrative stuff. So,
Yeah.
that's why, shit rolls downhill. I'm imagining, Johnny, that you work for Josh, and so that's why you're looking at all these submittals going, what the fuck, man? Josh ain't gonna sit down and do that shit.
Yeah. He helps though.
Well,
A
I
lot.
mean, look, shit rolled downhill at my company, right? My dad was running everything, and he'd just get us into the thick of fucking everything you could imagine, and then hand it over to me and go, okay, go get it done. What the fuck, man? And that was my entire career. But I'll just tell you this. In doing all that, I learned everything there was, right?
Yeah.
You know what an activity hazard analysis plan is? They call them AHAs.
No.
I mean, I wrote one up, but
Yeah. So we were in a workshop teaching a room full of 16 guys about federal contracts, and somebody in the room looked at Doug and said, "Hey, can you tell me what we're supposed to do with activity hazard?" Oh, no, he said AHAs. And my dad started talking. I don't remember what he was saying, but it was clear to me he didn't have a fucking clue what he was talking about. And I could see the look on the faces in the room, and I stopped. I stood up and I said, stop. And everybody looked at me. And I said, do you think that my dad has ever done an activity hazard analysis in his life? He don't even know what the fuck you're asking. What's next?
So under no way, shape, or form should we keep this job, even if it could be profitable.
Well, I don't know. That's a business decision. But just understand that, when you're talking about, forgive me, I wasn't paying too much attention to the dollars. But if you're talking about an $800,000 subcontract agreement on a federal contract, I mean, I'm imagining this is a very large flat roof, right? And
It's about we bid almost 400,000 for what 50 squares of flat roofing, and what is it, like 200 squares of
280.
280 squares of shingles. So we bid like right under 400,000. We're at like 380 or something.
and I'm not a math major, but are we talking like $1,000 a square or something?
It's exactly. That's right around. Is that what it is, Johnny? Like right there?
I think. Yeah.
It's like it's right there. And when I had agreed, even whenever they were asking me about the prevailing wage, I basically was like, all right, because I called another guy, some guys that have done it before, and I was like, cool, I pay that guy, then he figures it out. And then I found out about the reports, and I was like, oh no. but we figured we'd still be able to make some profit. But now I'm like, oh man, I don't know how it works.
It drags on for like a 6-month project because they got time frames on when we can work, when we can't work, and different things with this campus.
I mean,
I
look, are
mean,
you
this
guys
project could drag
starving,
out
or
way longer.
are you guys starving, or you got plenty of work going on?
In between, yeah, not. I
I
don't
mean,
want to take.
I would just hate for you guys to get involved in something that's above your head and have a bad taste in your mouth about federal contracts because, you know, God, what I can teach you guys is how to make a lot more money and be in control of fucking everything. You know, like, I mean, I would
That's
just,
the problem. We're not in control of it.
yeah, and you know, there's a lot of prime contractors out there, and to be honest, I'm one of them. That, you know, I'll get the guy in good, like I know he's gonna make money, but then I'm gonna hammer him with the requirements of the fucking contract, the schedule. I might back charge him if he's behind on the schedule. I might supplement his crew and back charge him the cost of supplementing his crew. There's so much control that a prime contractor has that on a, you know, in a big deal like this. I look again, I don't know how it works on, you know, commercial, residential, you know, city, state, county. I don't know how all that works. I just know how good we were at holding people accountable. And
I'm sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
well, I just, you know, I'd hate for you guys to be in that situation. I mean, look, I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really care, right? I mean, I don't know you guys, but my advice would lean towards I wouldn't do it.
But as long as we haven't signed that subcontractor agreement, we're really not held to the fire, even though we gave them a bid.
Absolutely not. Because they won't sign your bid, because your bid might have qualifications in it. And by the way, there are requirements in a federal contract. Again, these flow down provisions. If you Google the SF 1413, it's called the Statement and Acknowledgement Form. And that subcontract agreement that they sent you is required by federal law to reference flow down provisions such as anti kickback and all this kind of stuff. You can read in the middle of that SF 1413 all the what you're agreeing to federally, overtime hours and that kind of shit. And if they don't have that on you, they have nothing. Part of their welcome package, hey, welcome to working with, you know, who the fuck, whatever. But it should say that you need to sign the 1413 because every subcontract agreement on a federal contract, you have 10 days after the signed agreement to turn in a 1413. That's required by federal law. And by the way, I can FOIA that Freedom of Information Act. I can get the subcontract agreements, not the agreement itself, but I can get the 1413. Therefore, I can find out who specifically every single subcontractor was on any given federal contract, if there were subs.
Do you get a lot of guys that join your program that just quit completely residential?
Oh yeah,
regular,
almost all of them. I mean,
In all this
some.
paperwork, I see an SF-24, but I'm not seeing the 1413 unless they
Just
haven't sent it to us yet.
Well, I don't know what a SF-24 is. I can Google it, but the 1413.
Something about a bond.
Oh, okay. Oh, Jesus! They want you to bond the job too.
Yeah.
You know, you're running. I don't know. I mean, the last time I bid a rubber roof job, I bid it as a prime for about $1,200 a square. Now that was probably 15, 20 years ago. So what I would bid one for today, I don't know. But you know, if you guys are in it at 1,000 a square, he's in it at probably double that. You know, if you can figure out what the prime contract number is, I can tell you what it was awarded for. I mean, I know roofing is a small portion of the overall job, but unless this is specifically a roofing job, like
It is. It's just 280 squares of shingles and then a 50 square a 50 square rubber roof, and that's it. So that's why I was like, well,
do you guys have the contract number, the prime contract number? If you can send that to me, I can look up how much it was awarded for.
Oh man.
I'm looking through this agreement to see if it says it anywhere.
It should probably reference the prime contract number. It'll be like W905. It'll be about a 12-digit number. I should say
public knowledge you're talking about.
Yeah. Or tell me the name of the prime contractor.
SEG.
Hold on, I got to get my screen up here. Here, we can do this together. Stand by. Oops, you can't see my screen. There you go. Recipient. Okay, spell it for me.
It's SEG.
That's it?
They have them.
Just SEG?
I believe so.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll start with SEG. Stand by.
I found their website. Yeah, SEG Inc.
Okay. Hold on. Let's see what we come up with. It came up with everything that's SEG. So let me just see if let's redo this with SEG Inc. Well, it came up with Segway. So that must not be the name that they're registered with. Let's see if they've got. Give me their website.
SEG hyphen.
Wait, wait, Sierra Echo.
Yes.
Okay.
Sierra Echo.
SEG
hyphen
INC
Inc. .com.
.com.
So SEGinc.com.
Okay. Let's see if I can find. Sometimes they put their cage code or something.
Structural engineering firm.
Oh, let me see if I can get JC on the line here.
Either that, or do they ever report by like actual the location of the building that's getting done?
Hold on just one second. I'm pulling JC on the line here.
Oh, it stands for Structural Engineer Group.
Okay, we can look that up. He must be busy. Okay, let's see if we can find structural engineer group. Nope, nothing for that.
I think I found a contract number.
Okay. Give it to me.
Do you want me to type it in the chat so you can just copy it?
Yes, that'd be great.
All right, it's in there. This is on one of their cover sheets. It has contract number. Man, they got some real professional looking submittals.
Oh, it hasn't come in yet. You chatted it on my
On the Zoom.
Oh, on the Zoom. Oh, okay. Shit.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. I thought it was coming through my marketing system. Let me see if I can figure out how to I don't know how to Zoom chat. Let's see. Oh, there it is.
Text it to you?
No, there's a big chat button. All right. I see this. It's like 47 PD or something.
Yep.
Okay, let's see if I can copy this. Nope, that's a reply. Oh, here we go. Highlight it. Control C. And let's see what this brings up. Oh, it's an IDIQ, it looks like. It's a GSA job?
Yeah.
Yes.
What the fuck? Is that bad? What the fuck?
What did SEG stand for?
Structural engineer group.
About how long ago did they contact you?
I mean, we've been working on.
About how long did they contact you ago?
3 months.
I think I found something for 672,000.
And where's the location? What city do you know?
Charlottesville.
Charlottesville, North Carolina, right?
Virginia.
Oh, Virginia. Okay. Great. So my partner is a an internet sleuth. So I've given him the relevant information, and I'm sure he will get back to us shortly with how much that contract was awarded for. Um, in the meantime, any other questions?
So you teach not just to bid on roofs, but you guys are just bidding on anything, and then just getting the know-how of just going out and finding somebody that can do that.
That's right. Because look, I can find a good roofer, plumber, HVAC guy, drywall guy. I can find good guys that do work anywhere across the country. You just pick up the phone and start making phone calls. I don't have to be an expert in what you guys do. If you guys tried to get me to go install a scupper on a roof, I guarantee it wouldn't be right. Do you know where SEG is based out of? Just so I can confirm it's the right company. Okay, so let me send him.
Hamilton, Virginia. They're in Virginia.
Well, I'm going to send him their website. Now, listen, about 10% of any federal contractor's work is going to be roofing. So if you look at my 1,000 federal contracts, I definitely did 100 roofs. And the reason is because our federal government is replacing 50 roofs a day. They got 960,000 roofs across the country. And if you just take an arbitrary number like a roof is good for 20 years, that means they're literally replacing 50 roofs a day.
How often were you traveling to all these places, like when you would get big jobs?
In the beginning, when I was young, Dad sent me to all of them that he could so that I would get experience being out in the field and seeing how construction works. When you're in your 20s, you don't know shit, right? So I spent most of my 20s traveling around the country. I mean, when I was in 1997, I was in the top 3% of people who flew Delta Airlines. I mean, yeah, that's amazing. Later in my career, when I was project managing, I almost never went to a job site. The only job sites I ended up going to were job sites that I wanted to go to. I wanted to see, you know. At this point in my career, I would only go to something that was really fucking cool. As an example, about 5 years ago, one of our clients got a job inside NORAD, and he called me to talk about it, and I said, I'll do it. He goes, what do you mean you'll do it? I said, I'll do it with my own two hands. He said, why would you want to do that? I said, because you can't get inside NORAD unless you're supposed to be inside NORAD. So I literally flew up there and replaced a pillow block bearing on a 6-inch motor shaft for the federal government so I could go inside NORAD. If you don't know what that is, you can Google it. It's super secret base.
I think I found the contract, or I mean on USAspending.gov. This must be part of a bigger package that they won. It's like a $3.3 million combined obligated amounts.
Yeah, I found that too. So in IDIQs, indefinite delivery, indefinite quantity, what happened was they negotiated a deal with the government to do X amount of roofing jobs, and this is just one of many. So I saw that same number, the 3.3, but what I'm having JC look at is of the 3.3 million, what was allocated specifically to this roof?
752,000. 752,451.
Oh, okay, you found that number?
Yeah, project title Federal Executive Institute roof replacement in Charlottesville, Virginia.
There you go. So that tells you that you guys are in it for 400, so he's making 400 grand while you guys do all the fucking work. Remember I said that he's probably in it for 2,000 a square and you're in it for 1,000 a square?
Yeah.
Time to renegotiate. Now, on the other hand, some other fucking dummy will come along. Not that you guys are dummies, but I'm calling you a dummy in this scenario. My wife's in the other room yelling at me that I should be nice.
Hey, we bit the carrot.
So the question is, do you guys want to be the dummies or do you want to be the prime that's getting 2,000 a square and then finding some other dummy?
Yeah. So that brings me to, I guess, a couple more questions. What would you say is like when guys join your program, and I know everybody's got to follow through, like, what would you say, like, the average revenue or profit is that they're bringing? Or do you have guys that just hit it at different levels?
Look, I've been doing this for 14 years, so it's all over the place. I have one guy in my program, and this is no bullshit. He does one federal contract a year, one. And then he spends the rest of the year out with his family, vacationing, hunting, fishing, doing all kinds of shit. And I've got him on video saying that. Okay? I've got other guys that have, a full-fledged team. They're doing $40 million a year in federal contracts. I got one guy. It seems like he gets a federal contract every week. His name is Vision Contracting. You can look him up on USAspending. And goddamn, millions and millions of dollars, and it's just him and his wife. So
Vision Contracting.
Here, I'll get you the exact. Here, remember everything I do is public information. So let's just look at Vision Contracting. If I go into my award database here, you're literally looking at the awards of some of my guys. Look at Vision Contracting, Vision Contracting, Vision Contracting, Vision Contracting, Vision Contracting, Vision Contracting, Vision Contracting. I mean, Vision Contracting, that's 10 right there, right? 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I mean, this guy's doing federal fucking contracts every week, man.
He ain't messing around, and it's just him and his wife?
Yeah. Look him up on USAspending. You tell me. Dude, I've got probably 50 guys. On my proof page at GCExperts.com/proof, I just picked 10 guys at random on that page.
This is totally separate, but I'm curious. Did you ever get stuff figured out with that Justin guy that tried to copy and paste your stuff?
Well, the first time that it happened, I simply picked up the phone and called his attorney directly. And I said, this is what's about to happen. Okay? And so they settled and gave me $20,000 and said I wouldn't do it again. A year later, he fucking did it again. And that's when I said, okay, I'm going to create this website. So I created the website. Then I paid a guy to go buy his program so I could get the username and password to go into the back door of his program to see how much of it was copied from me. Now, I will say this to Justin's credit. The first version that he had done, the GC Mastermind or whatever, it was blatant copying of my program. The second time he did it, I gotta be honest, I watched the whole thing. To me, it was a road to nothingville. In other words, like, I talk about facts, right? Franklin Delano Roosevelt was the guy behind the New Deal. In his video, he says, I'm not joking, he says, Teddy Roosevelt invented federal contracting. And I just burst out laughing. Like, no, he didn't. But it's just confusion. His videos were a road to nothingville. But what I will give him credit for is that he was teaching from public sources. Like, it wasn't, there wasn't enough of my what do they call it, IP
secret sauce.
Yeah, he had really pulled out the stuff that was mine in his second version. So I'm not going to go after him over, because not only did I go watch his stuff, and it's not very long. It's about maybe 4 hours worth of videos behind his paywall. And I don't remember how much it cost. It was around $7,000 or something. But what I realized going and watching all that, and of course I recorded everything that he had there in case I needed it for the future. But I didn't think that anybody off the street, I didn't think that somebody like you could go watch those videos and have any real success. And what I know for sure about Justin is that he doesn't know how to solve problems on federal contracts. Like, he just doesn't have the experience, right? So anyway, I mean, that's, I don't know if that answers your question or not, but
yeah, I was just curious. I saw it was a lot of stuff going on there, and it didn't seem like it had integrity behind it. So
yeah, well, I just wanted to make sure. What was funny, the funniest thing about that thing was when I figured out that he had started the whole thing up over again, I went and started looking for domain. I did a bunch of Google searches on him, and at one point, he owned the domain name justinledford.net. And he didn't pay his renewal fee, so I bought it, which I thought was fucking hilarious.
So what, there's about 30 some hours of watching on yours. Am I frozen?
No, you're good.
Oh, on mine the screen's kind of stuck. The screen. There's about 30 hours of that for the 5,000. Then it's 700 to your wife for the Sam's registration. How long does that take? 3 weeks? Was that right?
About 10 days.
About 10 days. And then the 600, then the 600 is a monthly a fee to get the access to you.
Correct. And bid tracker and all the paperwork, safety plans, CQC plans, technical proposals, all the paperwork it takes to be a federal contractor.
And so basically we basically just get that white labeled and then be able to just put our logo over top of it.
You got it. It's all template form.
Cool. Johnny, you got anything, man?
No, I mean, I'm very interested in it.
How long does it usually take somebody that you bring in the program to see their first one come through?
About 90 days.
In 90 days, they usually have a contract?
Yep. But listen, I got statistics. Oh, I'm frozen. I didn't realize I was frozen. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I can still hear you, though.
Okay, hold on. But I can fix that. Stand by. Okay, so I've got statistics, okay? I can tell you 100% that 5 or 6 guys in my program have won the very first job they've ever bid. But on the flip side of that, I've got 5 or 6 guys who call me up after 6 months and say, hey, I haven't won a federal contract yet. And I want to talk about those guys because to me, that's more interesting. When that happens, the first question that I ask is, how many have you bid? And 100%, every single one of them, the answer comes back, well, I bid 3, I bid 5, I bid 4. It's some small number. And what that tells me is that, A, they're either not believing or trusting that they're at no risk for turning in a bid, or B, they have no idea what they're looking at, right? I mean, it can only be those two things. And so I'll just give you an example. Lamart calls me up about a month ago, and he's one of those guys. It's 6 months. Hey, I haven't won a job yet. How many have you bid, Lamart? 3. Okay, this is what we need, more training. So we sat down for an hour, talked about the federal acquisition regulation, reinforced that he's at no risk for turning in bids. And then I gave him homework. Your homework is to bid 3 jobs a week where you have absolutely no fucking idea what the work is or how much it would cost. And just put a number on it. 3 weeks later, hey, I got my first job. 10 days after that, hey, I got my second job. And the first job was a really cool one. Replace siding at the National Park Service. $50,000. His sub's going to cost him 20 grand. That's, for him, this is a real home run, right? And again, public information, right? You can just go look at this. It's I think its company's name is Ideal Balance.
Honey, hold on one sec.
Here it is right here. CJ Brown siding replacement, $48,615. Then the second one came in, Ideal Balance. Swamp replace HVAC and bunkhouse, $22,500. I think he's getting that one done for 10. So, and I can tell you when he joined my program if you want. I mean,
I'm not worried about that. I mean, there's enough information out there that we believe what you do, and so you're obviously a success at it. I'm not sure where Joshua went, but maybe his power's kicking back on. So I didn't get to finish watching the full video, but as far as like the videos that we go through for training, is that just like a one-time watch through, or are we?
No, it's at your own pace. You can rewind, fast forward. You can do whatever you want with that. Yeah, it's like Netflix. You just log in and hit play.
I got you. No, I think it's a great opportunity. I'm sure Joshua will want to just talk about it, but other than that, I think we're.
Well, if anything, I helped you guys with this big problem.
Absolutely.
And now somebody's making 300 grand on your ass.
I knew we were underbidding it. just wanted to get it and thought we were doing the right thing, and turned out to be a bust.
Wow, I wouldn't take the deal. And now you know how to look up, but also on the flip side, most guys don't know how to look this stuff up. So,
yeah,
there's this big concern out there sometimes where they go, hey, I'm worried that they're going to look it up and know that I'm making $50,000 they're doing all the work, And I go, look, there ain't nobody knows how, nobody's ever heard of USAspending.gov. Are you kidding me?
And I don't care that they're making money. Obviously, everybody has to make money or it's not a good deal for anybody. Yeah. I mean, we want to maximize our profits, but
Yeah,
I mean, to make
but Dan,
double off of it,
they're
I
getting
just
ready to
realized we
get.
shot ourselves in
Understand
the
that the moment you turn your bond in and sign that subcontract agreement, their profit is locked in 100%. It's so locked in that they can go to a bank and say, "We want that $350,000 profit right now," and they can get an extremely low interest loan on it because it's 100% guaranteed.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, it was definitely the wrong move. So going forward and getting started, how long does it take to sign up and onboard and
Seconds. When you guys invest with me, you get instant access.
good deal? I don't really know what other questions I have. I think Joshua's pretty much sold on it.
Well, you
I
guys,
guess we'll probably
get
just
off the
follow
phone
back
with
up with
me.
you and sign up.
Yeah, you guys get off it. Now, is it you who's been getting the marketing text messages or Josh?
Joshua.
Okay, well then he would have gotten a text message while we were on the phone that said, "Pleasure talking to you. Here's the link if you want to invest," and then you guys just talk about it. There's no hurry to anything. There's no fear of missing out. This shit's always going to be here, and I'll be here for probably another 8 or 9, 10 years, something like that. I don't know how much longer, but at some point my wife's going to say, "You've given enough to the world."
Yeah. And it's a great service.
Well,
And
I
I
enjoy it.
appreciate it.
I like having conversations like this. Most of the conversations that pop into these Zooms are so mind-numbingly boring because somebody will go, "I'm in the trucking and hauling business." Well, fuck, man. It's government construction expert. Like, I don't know anything about trucking and hauling federal contracts. Go find somebody else. Or information technology. I bang away on computers all day. Well, okay, nerd, go figure it out, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I get a phone
So
call like
said
you guys.
The NORAD, was it NORAD? You said that was your coolest project?
It was one of the ones that I wanted to go do it because you can't get in there unless you're supposed to be in there. But if you Google NORAD, it'll tell you all about it. I'm sure there's a wiki on it. But how I became aware of it was a movie in 1981 called War Games.
Yeah, I've seen it.
And that movie highlights NORAD in a pretty big way. They actually filmed inside the mountain for that movie. And they show those big 30,000-pound blast doors. There's 2 of them. And that's the only way in. Well, actually, there is a VIP entrance that I don't think they talk about on the internet. But when they bring the president or vice president to NORAD, the high up, there's a VIP entrance that it really just looks like a regular metal door. It's not a big 30,000-pound blast gate. But I don't think you can see that. Maybe you can see it on the internet now, but for a long time that was not public information.
In the Museum of Rare Books, did you find anything super interesting?
I remember that day. To me, that whole story, you got to understand that, first of all, I was like, what the fuck? But second of all, we went with, I want to say, somewhere between 14 and 18 people from our company. We flew everybody out there, and we were there for at least a week, maybe even 10 days. And we went to not only San Francisco, but we went to Lake Tahoe. We stayed at Caesars and did a whole bunch of fun things on that trip. I think we were inside the Rare Book Vault for a couple hours. What I remember the most, 2 things I remember in that Rare Book Vault. One was they had the Lloyd's of London Registry, which I had never heard of. But apparently, what the Lloyd's of London Registry is, every ship that goes 12 around the world, every ship around the world that goes more than 12 miles outside of the or into international waters, okay, is required to register with the Lloyd's of London. And inside the Rare Book Vault, they had the Lloyd's of London Registry for something like 100 years. And they had the 1917 Lloyd's of London Registry. And that year was interesting to me because that was around the time that the movie Titanic came out. And so I looked up the Titanic to see if it was in there. And not only was it in there, but handwritten in pencil next to it, it said, "Foundered at sea." That's what it said in the Lloyd's of London Registry. The second cool thing that I saw in there were colorized photos from like around 1865, and everybody knows that there was no such thing as a color photo in the 1800s. And what had happened was Eastman Kodak had come up with, well, I guess it was probably just Kodak back then, but anyway, somebody had come up with a methodology to colorize photos from that era. And it was so amazing to see a color photo, a Civil War era color photo. It was fantastic. Just a bunch of people.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but we installed a dehumidifier in that. Actually, my uncle did it. My Uncle Jimmy.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I'm sure you can get some unique projects on this. And
probably my favorite was San Clemente Island. Since we're just hanging out, Google San Clemente Island, or go to maps.google.com, and then in the search bar type San Clemente Island. And if you zoom in on the island, you'll see on one side of the island is a runway. You see it?
San Clemente, California?
No, San Clemente Island.
Oh, I didn't put island. Okay.
See the runway there?
Yes.
In the days that I was there, Top Gun School was in Miramar, California, about 100 miles away from that island. Maybe not 100, but it's quite a ways. But in those days, the Top Gun pilots had to keep their, quote, carrier qualifications, okay, because they're not out on aircraft carriers. So now it's not painted that way today, but in the days that I was there, that runway was painted like an aircraft carrier. And the guys out of Miramar would fly out every single night, and you'd have 20 jets in the air, like F-14s, F-18s, all of them. And they would practice trap landings on that runway. And you could drive, when I say you could drive up to the runway, I mean you could park your truck at the runway. So you're like 15 feet away from these jets hitting the runway, going into afterburner, and taking off. And my brother and I, every night after we were done out there, we would go pull a big old, 1986 red F-250 up to that runway, and there'd be a line signal officer, a guy that says, "Call the ball." We were about 15 or 20 feet behind him, parked, sitting in the back of that pickup truck, having these jets, I mean, so loud you couldn't fucking imagine how loud it was. But it was the coolest goddamn thing, and we did that for 3 months. Yeah, that was fun.
There's no doubt.
And there's a bar on that island. In my day, there was only one bar, but it's my understanding they have more than one now. But if you look carefully at that island, you'll find a place that says the Salty Crab. Do you see it?
Oh, I minimized it. Hold on.
Well, anyway, there's a bar on that island called the Salty Crab. The night that OJ was in the back of that white Bronco being driven by his friend and all those police were chasing him,
Yeah, I found the crab.
whatever night that was, I think it was around 1996, but whatever night that was, I think it was a Friday night. I was in that bar, the Salty Crab, and they had an old tube TV hung up on the wall, and everybody was in that bar drinking 25-cent tequila shots, watching OJ get chased by all those police. That's where I was that night.
Oh man.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you teach your guys like a system? Like, do people have like their own, I guess, like buy boxes? Like, I like jobs that either deal with this or are in between this and this range.
No, I teach you how to bid everything.
Just go after it all.
I don't give a shit where it is, what it is, as long as it's federally funded. That's all that matters to me. I don't like arguing with people about money.
In the beginning, do you think it's important to bid with stuff that's within 2 or 3 states so you can go to the first ones, or do you even think it really matters?
I don't think it really matters, but you know, if that makes you feel more comfortable, that's someplace where you can, you know, I'll tell you this, over my career, I liked being in Texas because I was centrally located. Any job across the country, I could get there in a few hours if I had to. But I mean, that only happened 2 or 3 times. I mean, you're talking about, you know, where you had to be there, like something happened. You know, we had a job. Are you familiar with wind shear as it relates to airplanes? Have you ever heard of that?
I've heard of it.
Okay, so what happened was they started, our government or people in general started becoming aware of wind shear as a problem for you know, commercial aviation, well, any aviation, in the 80s. I mean, I think they were aware of it earlier than that, but I mean, what happened was around 1985 or 86, there was a American Airlines flight coming into, I think it was Dallas Love Field, but I'm not sure. But as it was coming in for a landing, wind shear happened, and the airplane just literally fell out of the sky, and just it broke in half. Several people died, and the government said, "Okay, that's enough. We need to figure out technology to figure out when wind shear is happening." We, literally us, were the first federal contract to put in a wind shear tower for both airports up in Chicago, Chicago O'Hare, and I can't think of the other one right off the top of my head, but it was strategically in between the 2 airports so it could service both airports. Well, on that job, a tornado came through after we had erected the tower and knocked it all to shit. And we had a $400,000 claim with our insurance company. You know, an act of God came in and, you know, destroyed our wind shear tower. And yeah, we flew up there.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
surely, like the Vision contractors, him and his wife, they're not flying to 50 different places a year.
No. No, it's rare, but it happens. I mean, you know, things happen. Or you want to go see something, you know, you might want to go see your own rare book vault, right?
That's right. So, and with that Vision, guys, it really just him and his wife. Like, it's not like a huge team.
I don't know for sure, and let me tell you why. Mario, the guy that owns that company, and his wife, Elda, what's Mario's wife's name? Paula. I only hear from them once every 4 years or something. I mean, they've been a client for 14 years or something since we started. and they switched completely to federal contracts. So I mean, you know, it's like I said in the beginning of this conversation. People only call me for two reasons: they have questions about federal contracts or problems on federal contracts. Most of the guys in my program, I never hear from. I don't know what they're fucking doing. You know, it's not like I'm sitting there looking every day on USAspending who's getting it. You know,
Well, man, I think we're pretty good. I'd like to go forward.
okay, well, you should have gotten a text from me that said, pleasure talking to you. If you want to invest with us, here's the link. Did you get that?
Yep, I did see it.
So that's how you get started with me.
So this is for the 5,000, but then what usually happens for the with your wife and then the 600?
There's an option on that page. It's big flashing. Every contractor needs to be.
Yeah, 20 hours, absolutely not. Who wants that? Then what about the 600? Is that something just do you send that separately?
That's after you go through the workshop. It's not going to help you until you're SAM registered. So I always say do the two things at the same time, right? It might take you a week to get through the workshop. It's going to take her 10 days to get you SAM registered. So when you got all that completed, just get in touch with me and we'll get you into the membership program.
Got it. Whenever people get Sam registered, do people usually start a new business name or just keep the one that they
Now, keep the one.
doing?
The name of companies has no bearing on anything. I see all the time. AAA Concrete gets an electrical job. AAA Electrical gets a roofing job. One of the most famous ones that I talk about was Quality Fence or something. One of my clients has a fencing company, and he bid on a roofing job in Oklahoma, but he didn't get it. But because it's public information, they sent a letter out saying who did get the job. The name of the company that got the roofing job in Oklahoma was AAA Fire and Safety. Use what you got.
Or create a DBA.
Whenever so if we sign up everything today, start going through the training, what is it? Is it like a Google Drive, or how do you get like once we start getting access to like the files?
We built our own app, and it's like Netflix. You just log in with a username and password.
Oh, okay. So that all just happens. It's does it automatically get you in there once you sign up?
It does. When you sign up, it redirects to a page, and there's all instructions there. Put your email address in here. That redirects you into the videos.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking all the time with us today, Sean.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
This is.
appreciate it.
I was telling Johnny, this is what I like to do. I mean, I love talk. Can you see the passion in this conversation? Like, I really like this stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now that this is going to be loose, but I'm just got to ask it since you're not kind of like what you said. It's not a contract. Can you just like absolutely wing it and just like just swing for the fence like when you
Oh,
come out?
sure. Oh, wait. Are we talking about the job that you guys are talking about, that we've been talking about? Or are you talking about
No, no,
something
no,
else?
no,
Going
no.
forward.
I'm talking about being the prime. Just like go for something just crazy.
Yeah, well, it's going to depend on your bonding capacity. Most people start off with, say, a $500,000 bonding capacity. I mean, you guys might be able to get more, I don't know, but the minimum is that typically people start off with $500,000 in bonding capacity. So you would be limited to $500,000 job or $500,000 jobs or $50,000. You know, that's how that works.
What? How much does it usually? So whenever you're bidding these jobs, is that a bond that you're paying for and you're keeping all year round?
It's per job, and it's about 3% of the contract amount. So on that guy's job where, he's got 752 grand award or something, he had X amount thousands of dollars that he paid for his bond. But every federal contractor has to pay that 3%. So it's in everybody's bid.
So why would you only be able to get, and this may be a dumb question, why would you only if it's per job, why would you only be able to go up to 500,000 if it would be like kind of part of the job?
That's where your bonding look, I'm not a bonding guy, but I have a bonding guy. And my experience is that most companies, and maybe you guys are an exception, I don't know, but most people that come into this realm start with a $500,000 bonding line.
Which costs 15,000.
No. If you
He
get
said
a
3%.
if you get $100,000 job, your bond fee will be $3,000. If you get a $200,000 job, your bond fee will be $6,000.
I guess I was meaning for the 500.
No, it doesn't cost you anything. There's zero cost to get set up with a bonding program.
Because you're putting it in your bid?
No, I want you to think of the $500,000 that I'm talking about as a credit card. Think about it as a credit card, okay? The bond company, when you get a $100,000 job, two things are going to happen. One is you're going to pay the bonding company $3,000, okay? The second thing that happens is now you can only bid a $400,000 job because you've used up $100,000 of the $500,000 credit. Okay. Now, if you get 50% of the job complete, your bonding capacity is now $450,000.
I see.
Okay. You will only pay a bond fee when you get an award.
I got you.
So we're gonna talk to a bonding specialist even before we start bidding on jobs to see what we can get.
When you go through the workshop and you're ready to join the membership program, the first email that you're going to get is going to say, if you don't have bonding currently, contact Scott. And cool. Scott will get you set up with your bonding program. I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys have $1 million in the bank, and if you have $1 million in the bank, he's going to give you a $20 million bonding program. I mean, I don't know what I don't know what your cash is. I don't know what your credit is. And I don't want to know. That's the stuff that you set up with Scott.
So what are they basing your bonding limit off of? Like cash equity or collateral or?
Typically, it's three things. Number one, it's your credit. Number two is your cash in the bank. And number three is your experience in the construction field.
Cool.
Does it usually take guys a long time to usually go from that 500 to $1 million if that's what you normally see? I
wouldn't know because I don't have those conversations with people. Like, I don't know what I'm not going to know what you guys are approved of unless you tell me, hey, we only got the half.
I just didn't know if you saw from Mario or any of your students that kind of rised over time.
Well, you can back into it, right? Because if you look at their awards, you can estimate what their bonding capacity is. The other thing that you can do is you can look during a set amount of time. Like, let's just say that all you do is you bid roofing jobs in North Carolina, okay? And now I'm competing with you. What's the name of your company?
Revival Restoration.
Revival. Okay, so on the first job that I bid, you bid it too. On the second job I bid, you bid it too. Now let's just say you won each of those. Okay, the third job we bid, You bid it too, and you won. So that's 3 jobs. On the 4th job, you didn't bid it, but I did bid it. And I can see on the bidders list that you didn't bid it. I can estimate that the reason you didn't bid it is probably because you met your bonding capacity. You're full. It's not public information, but I can back into it, so to speak. But I mean, that's kind of really advanced shit. I wouldn't be. I think we're having too long a conversation for something that's insignificant. It's not a big deal.
No, that's good.
But even starting out with 500,000, you can start getting rolling with a lot of stuff.
You can roll it because as you accomplish work, you see what I mean? You can do millions of dollars a year with $500,000 in bonding capacity.
I got you. You just have to maybe be more strategic.
Not really,
like
because
winning jobs
because look, if you got $500,000,
we're just going to bid on a ton of stuff, and whoever gives us a job first, we eat it up, and then just say, "Well, sorry, we're out of bonding."
That's right, and then you just move on, get some work done, and bid more. I mean, that's why I said we're having too long a conversation about something. I mean, I understand that you guys, it's new to you, but it's just not that big a deal.
Well,
I mean, I'll put it to you this way. I'll put it to you this way. We were doing $20 to $40 million a year in federal contracts. Our bonding capacity was $8 million when we were doing that.
Whoa. That's good to know.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think you've pretty much answered everything we got. Looking forward to it.
We're going to sign up today and get rolled.
Okay. Well, I'm here for you if you need me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Sean.
Yeah, you bet. Have a good one.
Appreciate you, Sean.
You too.
Bye, guys.